Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to briefly explain House Bill 241. Now, this is the operations budget. This budget is the beginning of the end to underfunded operation budget for transportation. What this bill does, it provides $200 million from the general fund and $200 million from restricted funds. So that's a total of $400 million that will go to the operations budget. It funds $1 billion in federal funding and also $1.6 billion in road fund funding. I'm going to briefly talk about some competitive grants that we've been discussing. It provides $200 million for the required match for the federal infrastructure package. These grants, there's three different types. There's the RAISE grants, the infra grant, and the mega grants. This $200 million that the General Assembly is going to fund will help us shore up so when we go after these grants that we have the possibility of being awarded. Now I'm going to talk about your local government. This includes $50 million each year for a special fund to help local governments with road maintenance. We've all been hearing about how our county roads and city roads are deteriorating. So this is a total of $100 million. This splits 50% for the county and 50% for the cities. Now, what county judge, what mayor wouldn't like to have some funding from the General Assembly to help them fund their roads, fix those potholes? Next is general aviation. We have 57 general aviation airports. I'm not talking about the big threes. These are the little ones. $11.4 million each year for a grant pool available for the 57 general aviation airports. This is $200,000 a year for each of the 57 general aviation airports. This is good economic development. It's a measure for these chief executive officers. When they fly into our communities, they can come in, possibly invest in your rural counties, and maybe get more jobs in your area. Each airport was given the opportunity to request what they needed, so we're fulfilling that. The next is pavement management. We replaced over $180 million in allocations that was formerly came out of the road fund with general fund dollars, and it moves that amount to the maintenance account. The maintenance account, as everyone would like to know, is potholes, bank slippage, repaving, so that when we have this funding, we'll be able to take care of our roads. This is good for your constituents and mine. They will have nice, safe roads to ride on, to go to church, school, and to work. And last, I'd like to say in closing, we reignited our transportation department with this. We are taking funds out of the general fund, bringing it into transportation. This is the first time the General Assembly has allocated a sizable amount from the general fund to the road fund for maintenance and a special pool of grants. I'd just like to say in closing, the people of Kentucky will have the correct funding and enough maintenance projects in their area for jobs and for your constituents. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.